How many languages have you seen go by in the last 30 years? Let me paint just a little landscape on the computer languages for you. Does anybody remember when COBOL was actually popular? That was the 1960s. And then after that we had C. C became popular in the late 60s, early 70s. C++ became popular in the mid-80s. Then Java became popular in about 1995, and C# right after that, because they're really the same language. And then Ruby became popular right around 2005, 2006. And we're seeing another language start up the popularity chain right now, which is, well, JavaScript I probably don't need to mention. There's also things like Clojure and Python and so on. The languages come in waves. And the waves rise and then they fall. And the career software developer surfs those waves. Right? And you always have to be ready for when the wave starts, your wave starts to go down, you got to be ready so that you can leap onto the next wave. Because you don't want to ride the wave down. It's hard to recover from down there. So you, as software developers, should be learning all the time. Learning a new language every year or two. You should learn new platforms, new operating systems, new frameworks. You should be fiddling around and playing with stuff all the time. Because our industry is one that is constantly changing. And your job will very likely change out from under you in ways that you cannot anticipate if you are not ready for it. When do you do this learning? There's a fundamental truth about being a professional. It is your responsibility to take care of your career. It is not your employer's responsibility to take care of your career. Do not trust your employer with your career. Now, your employer may help with it, might buy you some books, might send you to conferences. You know, who knows what your employer might help you with, and that's fine, that's good. But you must maintain responsibility for your own career. And what that means is that when you give 40 hours a week to your employer to do the best job you can, you are not done. You then go home and you provide another 20 hours or 10 hours or 15 hours for your career. You go home and you fiddle around with a new language, you fiddle around with a new operating system, you fiddle around with a new discipline, you learn something new. And you may say, yes, but I've got a family, I've got commitments. Well, I understand that, believe me, I understand that. But you chose a career that requires grooming and maintenance. And if you do not undertake that, then your career will falter. So either find another career or expect to invest the time. When you go to a doctor, that doctor puts in a hard week at the office, 40 hours a week, seeing patients, doing surgeries at the hospital, doing all kinds of stuff. You kind of hope when he goes home, he cracks open the books and reads the medical journals. Kind of hope he's putting in the time after hours to stay up on what's going on in his field, because his field is changing rapidly. If you ever get sued and you need to hire a lawyer, you know that lawyer is going to be putting in a lot of time in the courtroom and in the office with you. And then you kind of hope he goes home and he cracks the law books and reads on what's going on, because he's got to stay ahead of what's going on in the law. You have to do the same thing too.